Welcome to Beyond Broke and Hungry. Juggling your career, relationships, nutrition, fitness, finance, try to pursue your dreams, and stay sane can be a bit of a struggle. With the help of expertise from a variety of wellness experts and tips and tricks from everyday people, this podcast is here to share it all to make this journey we call life just a little more balanced. I'm stumbling towards wellness right alongside you, and I'm so happy to have you come along this journey. With that in mind, let's jump into this week's episode of Beyond Broke and Hungry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Broke and Hungry. I am your host, Dara Sweat, and I am coming out of retirement. I don't know. Hiatus. Hiatus is a better word. So life just kept lifing for the past few months. And every time I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to make time to record another episode and get back into the swing of things. Life would life. And that's really the only thing that I can really say. I think the last time that I had an episode put out, I was like still dealing with a lot of bathroom drama. And I have some great news for you. There is no more bathroom drama. Both of my bathrooms are fully functional. There's some like little things here and there. Like a hole I have to patch and like a little one, just some like caulking I have to do, like touch up some paint. But the overall project is done. I have 2 functioning showers. I have 2 functioning vanities. I hung up the little shelving things that I have on my wall. I actually today in my downstairs bathroom, because I never use that bathroom, finally put up my shower curtain rack. So it's just one by one, step by step coming together. But the main thing is done, and it has been a relief. I ended up finding somebody else. I don't remember. I don't listen to my own podcast. I haven't listened in a while to check it out. And I don't remember if I told you that I fired my neighbor / contractor who was doing it before. So things are now really awkward for him. Not for me, because, do your job right and you won't get fired. And dealing with the whole ordeal with that. But this is a positive podcast, so we're not going to talk about that. But then I hired somebody else, a family friend that got it done, did it right, and did it beautifully. We actually ended up having to tear everything down that my neighbor / contractor did. And everybody that I had coming by to do estimates, including the man that did it, was like, did this guy even know what he was doing? Who knows? But either way, bathrooms are done. Bank account is struggling, but we're getting back into the groove of stuff. Some life updates for me. Really, the biggest thing that most recently happened, aside from getting my bathrooms finally done, is that I did the Force Wars competition down in Davie. It was my first CrossFit competition at an intermediate level. Also doing it solo. So I've done a beginner competition before where I had a partner, and then of course we do the in-house competitions at Graham. But what we do for Graham is we scale things a little bit lower than what a intermediate or beginner or RX would be at a general CrossFit competition, just due to the movements and capabilities that our members have at the gym, so that it can be fun and challenging, but not like overly stressful. So this competition was a lot of work. Honestly, more than I thought that it was going to be. In a good way. It was really fun to have, the opportunity to really step up and level up and work harder than I ever have physically. And not even just physically, mentally, nutritionally, like all around wellness, really, because I have a full-time job, and then I run an agency on the side that is starting to become another full-time job, which I'm super blessed for. And we'll continue to talk about that as the podcast rolls back on. But, it was really, really hard to be in the gym for 2 hours a day, to find two times that I could go do one programming and then the other programming on top of everything that I was doing. And one thing that I really, really pushed with was I would not sacrifice sleep. So if I had to work late, and the only option for me was to, possibly work out at 6 a.m., but I was gonna have to work late, then okay, well, I'm not gonna work late, go to bed at 11 o'clock, and then struggle to try to wake up at 5:30 and then have a full day. So what I would do is I would just work out a little bit later. My nights would be a little bit later, and then my mornings would just kind of be like 7:30 that I would wake up, kind of more average time. And I had to make it work that way. Or, I'd have to maneuver my meetings as much as I possibly could to be to where I could go work out at lunch, or I could, go work. I had to wake up a little bit earlier, start work a little bit earlier so that I could go work out at a 9:30 class, or, whatever the case may be. So a lot of sacrifices had to be made. I had to say no to a lot of things, which is like, if you know me, and my friends who have been listening to this podcast for a while know that I am not good at saying no. I am not good at it. I don't like it. It makes things uncomfortable for me and the person that I have to say no to. But, and I've always had really bad FOMO. So I would always say yes to everything because I didn't want to miss out on anything that might be awesome. And if there's anything that those few months before the competition taught me, was that I am so capable of saying no. And I actually love saying no. Like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. So that's been really, really great. Another thing that was kind of like a main, I want to say, like, theme during this time that really resonated with me, and I just kept thinking about it, and I was like, I gotta start this podcast again so I can, like, talk about this, is really remembering the why. And that's what this episode is really going to kind of break down. And I'll get into a couple of things in just a minute here. But, while I was doing this, there were days that I did not want to go to the gym. I especially once, let alone twice. Like I didn't want to do it. And I had to be like, okay, like, I'm leveling up for this competition. I got the movement that I had to literally get to do this competition at this level was chest to bar. I got them a week before the competition. I finally was like confident with the movement and being able to do it efficiently. I had to do it one at a time. I did 15, but I did 1 drop, 2 drop, all the way to 15. And that movement was the movement that I was struggling with getting the most and was really upset about not having the quality that I wanted to have it the most. And that was the only movement that I did not get no repped the entire competition. So, I just really, really had to push for it, really had to work for it. And on not even just the working out part, but the eating part. Like you had to be on point for your nutrition in order to perform this way. If you had nothing in your body, you were not going to perform. I wasn't eating to lose weight. I wasn't eating, to do anything. I was just eating to perform, quite literally. I was tracking my macros like off and on, but really just to make sure that I was getting the right amount of protein and a sufficient amount of carbs in order to have the energy to do the workouts. And I was really, really there were some days I didn't want to eat. Like literally was like, I can't believe I have to. And it wasn't because I'm eating chicken and broccoli and rice and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, no, I had variety in my food, and I still would have like a treat every now and then. I did 30 days before the competition. I did no alcohol. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in another episode as well, because I feel strongly about how I felt during those 30 days. And although I've had a couple glasses of wine and a beer here and there since the competition, I'm really good with not drinking. But we'll get into that on another episode. This is the topic today, is remembering our why. But on those moments when I was like, I don't want to be doing this, I really had to think about like, okay, why don't I want to do this? There's really no excuse. There's really no reason why I shouldn't do it. I mean, I'm perfectly capable of doing this, so I should just get over it and I should just go. And it wasn't really that I was motivated to do it. It wasn't about motivation. It was about being disciplined and really showing up for myself. Like, I didn't do this competition for anybody else. There was nobody else I did this competition for besides me. It wasn't because I wanted to prove something to myself. It's just because I wanted to set myself up to work for something that I had never done before, just to see where I was at, if I could hold my own, if I could compete with the other girls that were at this level. And I ended up with like 11th out of 13, which in the game of things is like, oh, well, you didn't really do that great. I did awesome for where I'm at, for when I started training to be at this level, from where I was even just 6 months ago. I was so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself for how disciplined and dedicated I was to making this competition happen. And also how I performed on game day for the 2 days that I performed. Like, I showed up, I did my best, I gave it my all. I didn't have any meltdowns. It was great. I really, really felt good about it. I'm very proud of myself. And I think that this experience taught me so much more than what I could be capable of as an athlete in CrossFit. I think it really just taught me what I could be capable of for anything in my life, whether that's work, friends. It's incredible to me how much growth I experienced in so many different categories of my life just from training for this competition at a higher level than I had ever done before. So want to share a couple things about remembering your why. So whether this is a competition that you're going to be prepping for, or you want to do a bodybuilding show, or you just want to lose weight, or you just want to maintain, you want to do good at work, like whatever the reason is for you choosing to do something and work on it, the heart of what is going to get you to accomplish those things is remembering your why. Because there's going to be days that you don't want to do it. There's going to be days that you don't want to show up. There's going to be days that you just say, you know what is this even for? Remember your why, and that will help you get through it. So remembering your why is essential for staying motivated and focused and disciplined on your goals. Because remember, we're not always going to have motivation. Sometimes we have to be disciplined here. So 5 reasons why it's important to keep your why in mind. Number 1, sustained motivation. Your why serves as a powerful source of motivation. When you remind yourself of the reasons behind your goals, you'll more likely stay committed to them and push through the challenges and the setbacks. Number 2, clarity and purpose. Knowing your why gives your life and actions a sense of purpose and direction. It helps you prioritize your time and resources. It will make it easier for you to stay on track and avoid distractions. Number 3, resilience. Okay, life is filled with obstacles and difficulties. Life be lifing, and we're gonna have to continue to push through it no matter what. So your why is gonna be your anchor during those rough times. It's gonna provide you that resilience that you need to overcome adversity and keep moving forward. Okay, you gotta be resilient. That is actually my word of the year, and it just speaks so much because it is so true. Being resilient and remembering your why is really, really what's going to drag you through it. Number 4, decision making. When you're faced with those choices and opportunities, remembering your why is what's going to help you make those better decisions that align with your goals. So this kind of goes hand in hand with resilience, because you have to be resilient in making that decision that is going to help you stay aligned with your goal, right? It's going to this decision making and remembering your why is going to prevent you from getting sidetracked by short-term temptation. So whatever that looks like, whatever that distraction looks like, remembering your why is really what's going to help you make those decisions. Like, should I go left or right? If you're going to go one way and you know that way is going to maybe push you back a little bit, then you need to make the decision that's going to help you get to your goal. Remember the why of why you want to do this, why you have this goal. That's going to help you push through. 5th and final, celebrate progress, okay? Like, it is okay to be excited about making those steps and getting to the places that you have. I think we've talked about this before, and I hear this all the time about these big goals that we have for ourselves, and it's awesome to have those goals. But there should be little things along the way, like little milestones that you can check off and celebrate, because we love to have something to celebrate, right? We should have a reason to celebrate ourselves and celebrate our success. So tracking and celebrating your achievements becomes more meaningful when you remember your why. It allows you to appreciate the journey and see how far you've come in pursuit of your purpose. So it's just the easiest way to kind of side by side this is talking about weight loss. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. That's a big goal. 50 pounds is a lot. 5 pounds is a lot. 50 pounds, so it's like, okay, well, let's take it in increments. Lose 5 pounds. Heck yeah. Proud of myself. Lose another 5 pounds. Heck yeah, that's 10 pounds. So those little milestones that are going to kind of, it's like reading a whole book. Like, the book might be 50 chapters, but you have to read each individual chapter in order to get to the end of the book, right? So that's how things need to be whenever you have some kind of goal lined up. Like, have these little chapters that you finish and you're like, all right, cool, I'm done with that. That's awesome. Check it off the list. Celebrate how you want to celebrate it. All in all, incorporating your why into your daily life and decision-making can lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling journey toward your goals, whatever that looks like, whether it's weight loss, whether it's working out, whether it's you want to get a raise at work, or you want to gain more clients, you want to build your own business. Like, there are so many different aspects that it could be, but remembering your why keeps you connected to the deeper reason for your actions and helps you stay committed to your aspirations. So whatever your goals are, whatever your thing is, think about why you are doing it in the first place, and then remember that along the way. Aside from the CrossFit stuff and the nutritional stuff for me personally, this podcast is very important to me. I started doing this because I wanted to be a voice of positivity and encouragement for even if it's just my friends or my family that listens to it. Like, I just wanted to be, I worked in radio for a while because I loved the idea of, you turning on the channel and then like, if you're having a really bad day or you're stuck in traffic, like hearing my voice is like, oh, thank God Dara's on right now. I know I'm going to get some positivity from her. So when I stopped working in radio and I was like, I need something, I need to do something for somebody, I wanted to start this podcast. And it really gave me so much joy. And y'all, I have been wanting to get back to this so badly. And every single time I would do it, it was like the enemy was in my ear being like, well, you don't have your office set up. You don't have a camera set up. You don't have a good studio. Like, look at all the other people out there with their podcasts and how great and great setup they are. Look at all of that. Look at everything. Blah, 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 just tearing me down. And I believed it. I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, like, what am I doing? Like, and then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Screw that. Screw that, because it was just a hindrance from the enemy getting in the way of me being able to give positivity to people. There is so much BS that is going on in the world right now that you could be listening to, but I want to be that voice that is encouraging and that tells you that you got this and that God loves you and that anything that you set your mind to, you can do. So I had to remember my why. I'm not doing this podcast for me, although it's fun and I love it. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for for you, for the person that is listening right now. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this to remind you that you are awesome and that you can do it. You can do it. And you got to just remember your why and stay disciplined and keep those eyes forward and keep reaching for the goal. And literally you can accomplish anything you want to. So that's it, Fred. I'm so glad to be back. I really hope that I do this more consistently. No promises. Work has been crazy, but I am going to try to come on here as much as possible, remembering my why, which is you, and bringing value and motivation and inspiration to you. So have a great week, and I'll catch you next time. You got this, Fred. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to Beyond Broken Hungry wherever you get your podcasts so you get notified every time a new episode drops. It would also mean the world to me if you rate, review, and share the podcast too so more people can join the BBH tribe. Until next time, you got this, friend.